I used to think Stockholm Syndrome belonged in crime documentaries and psychology lectures. Something extreme. Something that happened in locked rooms and hostage situations, not in relationships filled with flights booked last minute, FaceTime calls at odd hours, and carefully planned trips to beautiful places. I also believed I had a decent sense of what healthy love looked like. I had experienced it before. Not perfect relationships, but kind ones. The kind where affection felt steady, where silence did not trigger fear, where love did not require constant reassurance to survive. When that relationship ended, cleanly and honestly, I stepped into single life with an open heart and very bad timing. That was when I met him. If I'm honest, I would not have swiped right on him. Something about him would have made me pause. Not enough red flags to run, but enough to hesitate. But the universe does not swipe. It drops people into your life when you are still grieving what you lost and mistaking familiarity for fate. Everything moved fast. Faster than reflection, faster than discernment. He loved loudly. When we fought, my phone would not stop buzzing. Calls stacked on top of messages, long paragraphs explaining how much he needed me, how he could not function without me, how losing me felt unbearable. At the time, I thought this was passion. I told myself, this is what it looks like when someone really cares, when someone chooses you without hesitation, when someone is afraid to lose you. I did not yet understand that urgency is not intimacy. Love, but louder. He was very good at grand gestures, especially before I traveled with my family or friends. Trips planned to beautiful places, thoughtful details, everything curated to feel intentional and romantic. I thought I was being spoiled. I did not realize I was being distracted. If my best memories were with him, I would not notice the gaps. If every high belonged to us, I would excuse the lows. If I was constantly being swept off my feet, I would not stop to ask why we were never really moving forward. When you were busy being dazzled, you do not question direction. Forgiveness became a routine. He cheated, more than once. In different forms, each one followed by the same apology script. Tears, promises, surprise visits across countries. Showing up at my door, crying on my couch, telling me about his childhood wounds, his fear of abandonment, how meeting me changed him, how I made him want to be better. He told me I was different, that I saved him, that I brought out a version of himself he never believed he could be. I confused being needed with being loved. I thought staying meant loyalty. I thought forgiveness meant emotional maturity. I thought if I loved him well enough, consistently enough, he would eventually choose me in the way I kept choosing him. The questions that never had answers. Whenever I asked about the future, the real questions, the ones that require clarity and courage, the answers dissolved. What are we building? Where is this going? What is the plan? There was always just enough hope to keep me waiting. Just enough affection to soften the disappointment. Every goodbye felt heavy. Every vacation ended in sadness, even in the most beautiful places. I learned that love should not make paradise feel like a countdown, and the words that changed everything. I went home once, emotionally exhausted, and my sister said it casually, almost in passing. You know that sounds like Stockholm Syndrome, right? I laughed. Then I went quiet, because suddenly everything aligned. The back and forth, the highs and lows, the anxiety I called passion, the panic attacks I thought meant I cared deeply. The way I kept returning, not because I was happy, but because leaving felt terrifying. I was not attached to him. I was attached to the relief that followed the chaos. That realization did not break me. It felt like putting my bags down after a long trip. I did not realize I was allowed to leave.